Audi used to make it simple. Now, we have all of this. My name's Marissa, I'm from FCP Euro, and welcome to our Audi B9 Buyer's Guide. Audi's B9 platform has redefined what it means to drive a modern executive car. With choices ranging from the mild hybrid A4 to the fire-breathing twin-turbo RS5. Is the S4 still the right choice? From the iconic legend that started it all, the B5 S4, to the tried-and-true sweetheart B8 and B8.5, the S4 has nearly always been the people's performance Audi. But with the B9 generation, is that still the same case? The B9 platform debuted in the US in 2017, bringing major upgrades over the outgoing B8. It's built on the MLB Evo architecture, shared with the Q7 and even the Bentley Bentayga, so we're talking serious platform diversity. The Audi B9 platform brought big changes to the S4 and its siblings. The B9 underpins the A4, all-road, S4, A5, S5, and RS5. Lighter, faster, smarter, and sharper. But over its production life, Audi didn't sit still. Let's break down every major update across the B9 lineup, from its 2017 US debut to facelifted B9.5 models and beyond. In the B9 generation, primarily thanks to the introduction of the A5 Sportback four-door hatchback model, both the S5 and A5 have overtaken their older, more traditional A4 and S4 counterparts. Many people find the convenience of the Sportback design and the rear hatchback mechanism to be very useful. Mechanically, these are all the same, it's just the body and styling that differentiates the various models from each other. The A5, S5, and RS5 are pretty much all available within two-door coupe, two-door convertible, and four-door Sportback options, the RS5 not being featured as a two-door convertible. As stated before, the Sportback is essentially a fastback-styled sedan with a hatchback trunk. The B9 received a light facelift in 2019 with revised bumpers based on the S4 model, and then later a full facelift in 2020, signifying the B9.5. Some of the competition for the Audi B9 platform include BMW 3 4 Series, Mercedes-Benz C-Class, Volvo V60, Alfa Romeo Giulias, Acura TLXs, Infiniti Q50s, Lexus ISs, Cadillac CT4s, and these are just to name a few. Primarily, the B9 has a slightly sharper look to the body and trim lines, with a more angular front grille and more stylized rear taillights. The interior featured improved ergonomics, design, and materials. The B9 interior is frequently referenced as a work of art that is both comfortable and familiar and has the perfect Audi feel. Buttons and controls feel high quality, and they tend to hold up well over long terms. Everything in the interior overall feels relatively intuitive and looks great. Interior space is also ample thanks to the slightly bigger cabin space. Both front and rear seats are notably comfortable, supportive, and rides a little bit between the line of sporty and luxurious. Standard LED ambient lighting is across all models, standard 3-zone climate across all models, sedan and Sportback models only. Now, the B9 models are available with one of 3 different engine options, essentially broken down by the A, S, and RS designation. However, some of the later B9.5 models featured these powertrain options, but with the addition of mild hybrid systems known as MHEV. Alright, so let's nerd out over some of these engine specifics here. A4, A5, and all-road featured from 2017 to 2020 the EA888 Gen 3 2.0T. The engine code for these were CMYC or DPA, which was the Miller Cycle engine. These had cast iron blocks, aluminum heads. The bore was 82.5 millimeters by 92.8 millimeter stroke, dual overhead cam, 4 valves per cylinder, variable exhaust and intake timing, also featuring variable valve lift. They feature 248 horsepower on average and 273 foot-pounds of torque within the Quattro models. A4, A5, all-road EA888 Evo 4 2.0Ts were featured from 2021 to 2025. These are with the mild hybrid MHEV systems. The 2021 A4 and A5 models are the first in the USA to see the EA888 Evo 4 variant of the 2.0T. 2021 Plus mild hybrid 45 models featured 261 horsepower and 273 foot-pounds of torque. There are a range of updates to this design, which can get it to be really messy knowing what mild hybrid system you have, but many of the core components within the internal combustion engine are the same. Primary changes include the introduction of the mild hybrid system, along with other supporting items. The engine code DPA45 or DMSA40 is the Miller differentiation. These both feature cast iron blocks, aluminum heads, all of the same internal design as the Gen 3 2.0T. However, the 40 is a slightly lower horsepower rating mild hybrid system compared to the 45. We later see that the 45 makes the 40 option obsolete, meaning that you may be able to get a 40 at a lower price compared to the 45, but there are less of these produced and they are noted as being weaker on horsepower. Both the 3.0T and 2.9 TT are focused on the same EA839 engine family. On the surface, these may seem to be an evolution of the outgoing EA837 used in the B8, B8.5, S4, S5, but it is actually substantially different in design and execution. These differences include wider bore spacing, 93 millimeters compared to 90 millimeters, with casting cooling channels for improved cooling, thicker 0.5 millimeter cast iron cylinder liners up from 1 millimeter on the EA837 supercharged engines. Substantially simplified timing system, something we've never seen before with Audis, with a gear-driven direct drive crank to intermediate shaft, and then chain drive from crank to oil pump / intermediate shaft to the cam banks. This makes it a whole lot simpler to time these cars. This was a 90-degree V6 aluminum block with cast iron cylinder liners, aluminum heads, forged crank, and cast pistons. These produce up to 354 horsepower and 369 foot-pounds of torque. The RS5 with the E839 2.9 twin turbo, this features engine code DECA, 90-degree V6, aluminum block with cast iron cylinder liners. Again, very similar construction to the 3.0T. However, this features 84.5 millimeter bore by 86 millimeter stroke, which is an internal designation to drop down liter size, dual overhead cam, 4 valves per cylinder, gear-driven balancer shaft. Again, same timing, assembly, and construction as the 3.0T, just a slightly different stroke to get it to be a 2.9, just to compensate for the twin turbo. Again, this was also direct injected, turbocharged, air-to-water charge cooler this time. This was co-developed with Porsche and rated at 444 horsepower, and we also feature mild hybrid architecture featured on some of the models within the B9 platform. All right, now let's go over how to take the power out of the engines and put it onto the ground with transmissions. So overall, in the B9 platform, there are 3 transmission options you could have. ZF 8HP automatic, featured in the S4, S5, and RS5, is a traditional 8-speed automatic transmission. This is a really popular transmission being used right now across Audi and even BMW models right now. This is very unconventional for Audi because it's shifting away from the dual clutch automatics to a traditional automatic with a torque converter. And it's renowned for not only its high power, high torque capacity, but performance and, surprisingly, speed. It is regarded by many as actually the best traditional automatic transmission available on the current market. You could also get the dual clutch S-Tronic 7-speed within the A4, A5 lineup. Anything essentially with a 2.0T would normally get the S-Tronic. This includes the A4 Allroad as well, and it's a similar operation to the previous DSGs. This is just, of course, now a 7-speed. This was utilized in front-wheel drive Ultra models as well as the Quattro models through the B9, B9.5 production timeframe. Some issues featured within this are overheating and clutch wear. These are common problems, as I'm sure most dual clutch transmission owners know, especially in the stop-and-go traffic or aggressive driving applications. However, you could get a 6-speed manual offered in the A5 Coupe and very select A4 Ultra Sport models. They only made 40 of the Ultra Sport for the A4s. The OBD2 6-speed clutch manual is only available in these models for the B9 platform. This is a carryover from the previous generation B8 and B8.5 Audi 2.0T, A4, and A5 applications. Now, would it be an Audi video if we didn't talk about all the different driveline and Quattro options? So RS5 featured standard all-wheel drive with center locking differentials. This offers high precision handling through active torque distribution. A4 and S5 feature standard Quattro all-wheel drive. 2018 A5s only could receive the Quattro with Ultra technology when optioned with a 6-speed manual, which was exclusive to just the coupe variant only. A4 all-roads feature standard Quattro all-wheel drive with Ultra technology. A4s are available with Quattro all-wheel drive with a self-locking center differential and wheel-selective torque vectoring. You could also get these in front-wheel drive for 2017, 2018, and 2019 and up to 2020 models. The S4 featured standard Quattro all-wheel drive, but all across the board, most of the issues that are within this platform mention rear axles shifting or being misaligned, causing a variety of issues from premature tire wear to bolts and components potentially snapping from undue strain. This is something that Audi has a TSB and recall for, depending on the exact model. The best way to check to see if this is something that's been done is to enter your VIN into the platform and see if the recall's been performed. The front on these cars is multi-link aluminum control arm, and the rear is multi-link with steel trailing arms, steel lower control arms, and link arms. The A4 can feature sport suspension, which can lower the ride height by up to 23 millimeters. An additional 10 millimeters can be removed via the active Audi Drive Select settings. The A4 All-Road can have a 5-link suspension, which is also an option on the A4 sedan, 34mm ground clearance over the A4 sedan, and the A5 can have available sport suspension, which lowers the ride by up to 10mm. This utilizes electronic damper control as well. All right, so we've talked about engines, we've talked about driveline, we've talked about transmissions. Let's pump the brakes here, talk about brakes. So there are 3 OE manufacturers for the front calipers across the line of the B9s. They are Conti, Brembo, Akebono. Rear calipers can be TRW, Akebono, and Ate. Sport Package changes the brake calipers from black to red, but changes nothing else about the brake system. On A4s, black optics will add a red color to the base calipers, and overall, there's not really any issues with the braking system on these cars. Most of it just seems to be pad-based and just really sensitive to how you drive these cars, how hard you are on the brakes, but overall, it seems like it's a really good system across the platform. You could get ceramic brakes. They were an exclusive option to the RS5, but they are extremely expensive, and as a result, they were cut from the competition package from Audi for 2025. Now, a total weight savings of 11 pounds was removed from the standard B8.5 brake system for the B9. Factory pads are also now copper-free, thanks to meeting new regulations, and the various trim levels offered across the B9 platform offer a variety of brake calipers, sizes, and colors, and these are all independent based on trim levels and options fitted to your car. The best way to order brakes for this platform is always just to have your VIN handy and just always have a list of your options to see what fits. A4, A5 front brakes are 350mm, 338, or 330 with either a 4-piston Conti caliper, silver or unpainted, or it could be red. A 6-piston monoblock Akebono caliper is also an option. This is the same caliper design that was pulled from the S4 and S5 models. Now, you could get this caliper option if you were to, let's say, have the S-line as a trim level on your A4, but it's not always an option that you can have. Otherwise, you're gonna have the 4-pot silver unpainted caliper, and like I said, because of a wide range of build options and packages for this platform, it's best just to have your VIN ready. Now, the red caliper 6-pot Akebono comes standard in A4s ordered with the black optics package. The red calipers are offered across a cross-section of other year, make, model fitments, such as the A5, S5, S4. Electromechanical braking is now standard on the A4 as well. The ESC was designed and pulled from the Q7 software, and it features a really nice diagonal cross split from front to rear. S4 and S5 share the same front braking system, 350mm rotor with a 6-piston monoblock Akebono caliper. It's important to note that although the S and RS rear brakes are the same size dimensionally, they're not actually interchangeable because they have different hub hats entirely. So it's important to note that when it comes time to order brakes for your car, don't just buy the RS5 brakes for the sake of buying RS5 brakes. Now buckle up, I'm going to help you try to decipher the copious amounts of trim levels, options, and other features you might see when you're in the market for a B9. So let's start with premium. Premium is essentially the base model trim, providing a strong foundation with standard features like a powerful engine, quattro all-wheel drive, and a later developed S-specific styling. Premium Plus is a little step above Premium. It features options like 3D premium sound system, more driver assistance technology, and more upgraded exterior trim. Prestige is the highest trim level of all. This is across all of the B9 platform, offering the most luxurious features, including advanced driver assistance, a heads-up display, and more. S-Line also got changed up and became mostly an exterior-interior trim redesign, sport suspension separated from the S-Line. Trim and option breakdowns are incredibly interchangeable across the B9 platform, so we will be keeping this really high level. Ultimately, if you're shopping for a B9, it's best to take the VIN and put it in your favorite decoder to view all the options and packages. Some of the packages include the convenience package. It's available on Premium. It adds features like auto-dimming side mirrors, keyless entry and start, memory settings, and more. Black Optics package, not to be confused with Black Optics or Silver Optics trim. This adds exterior trim elements for a more aggressive look. It is different, like I said before, from the Black Optics itself. It's a more specific package. There's also the carbon fiber package, which provides the classic interior accents that everybody loves on these cars. There's a Sport Exhaust Resonator feature. This enhances the exhaust sound. Then there's also the Audi Guard Protection Kit. This includes items like cargo mats, all-weather floor mats, Audi Beam. This is a feature that projects the Audi logo onto the ground. Whenever you open and close the doors, you'll see it on the ground beneath you. And like I said before, S-Line is separate from sport suspension. This improves the handling responsiveness and generally lowers the ride height a couple of millimeters across the board. Matrix LED headlights are another feature, which offer adaptive lighting for better visibility. There's a power panoramic sunroof. This provides a larger opening for light and airflow. And Audi's virtual cockpit, a fully digital instrument cluster with customizable display options. MMI Navigation Plus, a touchscreen infotainment system with navigation and other features. So, is the S4 still the best choice within the B9 lineup? You could have the A5 manual coupe or the A4 Ultra Sport with the more visceral manual transmission, which is a great bang for buck, great balance of affordability, good MPG, and a really refined engine platform. But unfortunately, both of these cars are very hard to come by, and with the hatchback-like benefits of the Sportbacks within the RS5 and S5, it's clear that the S4 has begun to step down from the limelight. S5 sales have surpassed S4 sales significantly for the B9, and rumor has it that the S4 will be removed from the B10 lineup, slated to come out soon. Overall, the B9 platform is one of the best yet. But in becoming so good, it might have lost some of what made its predecessors so special. Still, for most buyers, there's a car within the B9 lineup that strikes the perfect balance. Is the B9 a platform that checks every box, or has it gone too soft? Drop your thoughts below, and if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives, DIYs, and content for all things B9. I'm Marissa. Thanks again for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.